Hey guys, so how's it going? Now, I want for you all to know that there is a shaking that's coming that will coincide with the wealth transfer. And in fact, I believe that this shaking will also be the direct cause of the wealth transfer. Now, this shaking will also be a black swan event. If you guys who don't know what a black swan event is actually an event that cannot be predicted. It's untrackable and it's completely unexpected. Now, I should say that it will be caused by potentially multiple black swan events, because that's also a possibility. One could trigger the other. So it could either be one or multiple unexpected events. Now, I've seen like a number of people online that are saying that they believe that Bitcoin has already bottomed. Some of them are even saying that, it can never return to 30 grand, even $20,000. They think that those prices are way too low, and that the idea of it going that low would be ludicrous. However, I can't think that way. You say, no, definitely not. Why? Because of these black swan events, these unpredictable events that have been attributed to all of Bitcoin's previous crashes to significantly low numbers, guys. If you guys do some research, I believe I've mentioned this as well. I've done a small video about this very same thing before as well. If you guys go for yourselves and do a small search in regards to what has caused Bitcoin to crash in all of its previous crashes, every single one of those crashes has been attributed to a black swan event. Every single one of them. Which begs the question, why in the world would this time be any different? That's what the one that's wise would want to ask himself. If every single one of Bitcoin's previous crashes was attributed to a black swan event, an event that was completely unexpected, cannot be tracked or be predicted, why in the world would this time be any different? Now, guys, I'm of the belief that this time it will most definitely not be any different. And in a minute, we're going to discuss 3 out of so many potential black swan events that could occur, because there's a great number of them, but we're only going to go through 3 of them, you see, and one of them is very, very time sensitive, I should say. 2 out of the 3 of them are inevitable, and I guess arguments could be made for the third one as well, which is MicroStrategy. Arguments could be made that, that one is also inevitable, because it's only a matter of time before that whole dollhouse crumbles. That is inevitable, guys. Whether it crumbles before the manufactured spike or after it, whenever Bitcoin goes to zero, MicroStrategy will crumble. It's inevitable. It has to collapse. It's, in my opinion, very, very significant as it regards to the wealth transfer occurring. Because you guys see the amount of Bitcoins that MicroStrategy owns. Almost 1 million Bitcoins. Those are our Bitcoins, guys. It's for the wealth transfer community. I know it sounds weird, but it's actually the truth, you see. They have to crumble, they have to dump, because you know how the saying goes, whenever they dump, we loot. So it belongs to us. So they have to crumble. But guys, as you already know, before I go any further, nothing that I'm about to say or discuss here in this video should be considered or taken by any of you guys as financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, so now we're going to look into 3 potential black swan events that are, I shouldn't say potential. Like I said, 2 of them are inevitable, and arguments could be made for the third one. These 3 black swan events that are quite literally on the horizon are, number 1, the KOB, it has to do with the KOB, which is the King of Babylon. The second one is the California earthquake. That is right on the horizon. And the third one would be MicroStrategy, of course. You see, all 3 of these could significantly affect the price of Bitcoin and send it down into the crypto abyss. Now, the first one that we're going to be checking out is the KOB. I want you guys to go ahead and check out this video here really quick.
America is about to experience a pain that she's never felt before. And some of that pain is going to come from a tragedy. And it's going to be like the replay of what happened somewhat 50 to 60 years ago. I was asleep and I had a demonic encounter. I remember, I can't go into detail, but I remember waking up and screaming and doing this loud groan like, ah. And the Lord, when I woke up, the Lord spoke to me. He said, that would be the sound that America makes when this tragedy happens, because it would be a pain that they've never experienced before, but it would be familiar in chaos. Pray.
Now, for all of you guys who may not have catch what this brother here is speaking about, he's speaking about the KOB, which is the king of Babylon, in a connection with JFK's unaliving around 50 years ago. That's exactly what he's talking about. And this brother here is just only one out of the plethora of different brothers and sisters whom Yah had shown that this event is on the horizon. And apparently it cannot be prayed away, because the man himself had sown the seeds that will lead to this type of reaping. You see, he will reap what he sows. So he cannot be saved. It's just a matter of time, because I myself have seen it as well. Just the other day, I was there at his funeral with his entire family right there in my face. So I know that this is coming. Now, I say that this could be one of the contributors, and it's most definitely a black swan event, because the lot, which is the majority of people, aren't expecting this. And not if, but whenever this thing occurs, it would significantly impact the price of Bitcoin and the crypto markets. You see, considering the fact that this entire run that we've had, for anyone that has been paying attention, that's if you've been paying attention, since Bitcoin started pumping from 16 grand, which I remember this clearly. This entire run that we've had from 16 grand all the way up to $126,000, it was entirely based off of speculation. It was based entirely off of a bullish prez, if you guys understand what I'm saying. It was based off of the KOB, the entire bull run. It wasn't based off of market fundamentals or nothing that makes any sense. It was entirely based off of a bullish prez in the USA. So, as I've stated before, just imagine if something were to happen to that press. What would be the effects on Bitcoin? I tell you, it would be completely catastrophic. It would tumble down into the crypto abyss at warp speed. I'm not asking you this, I'm telling you. So that is only just one out of the multiple black swans that are on the horizon out there. There's a great deal more. That's why I say that it could be a number of them. One could trigger the other. And whenever it comes to Bitcoin and crypto in general, it's what you don't see that will make or break you. So you guys might want to pay attention to that and just be aware, because this prophecy is being widespread and Yah is still giving it to people. And I believe that it's for a reason, so that we are to pay attention and not be surprised if, one of these days, one of these mornings, we're to wake up to the news. Don't be surprised. I'm just letting you guys know. Be in position. Now, the next black swan or shaking, because it will most definitely be a shaking that is on the horizon that I want for us to discuss here, is the California earthquake. Now, this one is pretty obvious. It's everywhere for anyone that's paying attention. If you guys notice that we're having a plethora of earthquakes back to back all over the place, with majority of them lining out right there on the Ring of Fire, if you guys are paying attention. We've just had one, which is significant because as it so happens, that is also on the Ring of Fire. We've had also a 5-pointer, I believe, somewhere there off the coast of California. And all of these earthquakes, they aren't coincidences, guys. They're all connected. And for you guys, for any of you that are paying attention, we know what it's leading to, what it's heading, what it's pointing towards. The Cascadia Fault and the San Andreas. I even heard the Garlock Fault mentioned, which is very significant because it's also a sign of the big one. Whenever we see activity happening on these specific fault lines, they're very, very great signs of the big one occurring very, very soon subsequently. Now, we all just recently saw what occurred in Venezuela. We had like a double event. That was a back-to-back earthquake. Well, in like manner, I believe that that's what's going to also occur in San Francisco. We're going to have a double event, a back-to-back event. And from the description that you're about to hear in this very important and time-sensitive prophecy, I honestly do believe that what we're about to witness is the 9.5 in Cali. I would think that we would have the 7.5 first, but apparently what this brother here describes, in my opinion, will be the 9.5 at least. And this event will be a back-to-back earthquake, a double event. You see, similar to that of what occurred in Venezuela. So let's now very quickly go ahead and check out what he has to say.
So I had a dream about 2 months ago, and I asked the Lord if he would wanted me to reveal what happened in my dream. He said no, and would appoint me the time to reveal the dream. I just got the urge from the Holy Spirit that now is the time, so I'm going to speak about that dream, and it's a warning for those that live in a certain place in Los Angeles. Now, in my dream, I was standing in the car park of this building, and it was an open air car park. And I looked to my left, and the building was on my left, and the car park also went under the building. But I was out in the open air of the car park. The building I knew for a fact was a government building, because when I saw it, they just have that type of look. I then decided to walk up to the entrance, walk up the stairs and up to the entrance of the car park. Of the car park, and walk up to the entrance of the building. I looked into the building. From a distance, I could see that it had an FBI sign on it. And being led into the building in handcuffs was Andrew Tate. Now, I do not know why the Lord showed me that, but I'm now putting this out there for you all to hear. This might be for someone that was for confirmation for someone, I don't know, but that was Andrew Tate being led into the FBI building. I then walked back down to the car park because I felt the Lord guide me back to the car park, and as I stood there, I felt the ground starting to shiver and shake. And I looked out upon all the buildings, the high-rise buildings, and they were swaying. And then all of a sudden, there was a great upheaval, and the earth just lifted. The whole earth just lifted up, and all the buildings came tumbling down and crashing around me. I then looked up into the sky, and there were glowing words that were written saying, "Man-made." A man-made earthquake is what I got the knowing. I've never been to Los Angeles in my life, or outside the FBI building of Los Angeles, but this is how I described it, and this was what I saw in my dream. I was standing here in this car park right here. I then decided to walk up here to the entrance, and stood there and looked in and saw Andrew Tate being led inside. I then walked back down, stood here, and looked out upon all these buildings, and everything started to shake, and they all came crumbling down.
I can now confirm that officers from the United States have arrested both Andrew and Tristan Tate, and they have been detained pending ongoing legal proceedings.
Tristan, anything to say?
There is no place for male violence against women and girls in our society.
Now, the very first important thing that he mentioned that I want you guys to know is that he said that it was man-made, which tells you that this event was planned many years ago. And it's not a natural earthquake. It will be caused by HAARP. It will be caused by the machine that these wicked devils have all the way up there in the state of Washington. Now, the very next thing that I find to be very interesting and is the most important, because in my opinion, this year will serve as a proximate timing for this earthquake to occur. And that has to do with, of course, the recent arrest of the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, in Miami. I think it was just Saturday. Now, guys, is this all a coincidence? Most certainly not. I don't believe that. What I do believe that Yah wants us to know is that the arresting of these two brothers, especially Andrew Tate, because that's the one that he mentioned, the arresting of Andrew Tate is a proximate sign of just how close we are to this event occurring. How close we are to the earthquake, because Yah knows that it is that important, so that he would give us signs ahead of time to know just how close we are. And what I believe just occurred with Andrew Tate and his brother is a very big sign, a clue giving us an idea of how near we really are to this event occurring. Now, again, guys, for all of you who don't know, if ever we're to have a big earthquake over there in California, especially this 9.5 that we are all expecting, it would be absolutely catastrophic for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Well, not all cryptocurrencies. You guys already know that the meme coins are going to benefit, but it would be catastrophic for the price of Bitcoin. It would send Bitcoin down into the crypto abyss. And if you also want as well, you can go ahead and do a short search on Google for yourselves, and you'll find out like what would be the ramifications if, you know, we would have a earthquake over there in California, you know, how it would affect the markets. It would immediately force a lot of the people in the markets to panic sell and to make irrational trading, you see, out of fear, and also in attempts to prepare and to make some liquidations to get some cash on hand. And that would in turn cause the price of Bitcoin to crash and cryptocurrencies. So now the question is not if, but when, as it regards to this earthquake, because it is inevitable. And it's definitely on the horizon for anyone who's paying attention. All of you guys know that. That's for the ones that are paying attention. But the majority, they are not watching these events and not knowing that they're all leading to an event. They're leading up to the big earthquake that's coming over there. Because California is constantly rattling, guys, unusually lately. And the ring of fire is heating up. So there's absolutely no doubt that this earthquake that is coming is most definitely going to act as a black swan event. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Many people don't believe that it's going to occur. And so that's how it's going to act as a black swan event. An event that will most definitely adversely affect the price of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets in general. Except for the prophetic meme coins, these you want to hold those. Because whenever Bitcoin and these blue chips starts to crash, these prophetic meme coins will start pumping at some point during the crash or slightly thereafter. Now, the third potential black swan event that's on the horizon is one that is possibly playing out currently. And I say that it's possibly playing out currently because we've already had 2 sales so far from someone who hardly sells, if ever, and they keep getting bigger. In my opinion, what I believe that's going to happen is, like I just mentioned, there's a possibility that one black swan could trigger the other. So in a case, if let's say we have one of these black swan, which is the KOB or the earthquake, whichever one, that could force MicroStrategy to start selling more. Because in my opinion, I believe that that's exactly what he's going to have to do. He's going to be forced to sell more. He just recently sold 3,000, I believe, which is a large amount. No one expected him to sell that amount. And I honestly believe that going forward, he's going to be forced to sell even bigger amounts. And that's going to start the cascade. This guy has like almost 1 million Bitcoins, guys. And that's going to send the price all the way down into the abyss. So guys, I hope you all understand. There you have it. You know, I came across all of this information. These are some things that I'm looking at. And I believe that you guys ought to be aware of them as well. Especially these two with the KOB and especially the California earthquake. Because they're literally on the horizon. And they will act as black swans because the majority of people out there, that is the great majority, they're not expecting this. And they're not even looking, they're not watching as we're called to do. We were called to watch, guys. And these are significant events that will change the course of life, not only in the United States, but globally, because it's tied to the financial sector. Both of these events would greatly affect the financial sector. Yes, if anything happens to the KOB, Bitcoin's kaput. It's going down, guys. You see, if the earthquake occurs as well, it's going to send it all the way down into the crypto abyss. So you guys, please, I'm glad that you're now aware. You do with the information what you will. Make sure that you're in position so that you will not be caught off guard or be surprised like the majority will be. So let's stay level-headed. Let's pay attention and be in anticipation for the shaking that we know that is going to come suddenly. Perhaps one of these nights, who knows? But it's most definitely coming. I know that I'm preparing and you guys should too as well. Now, that is it for this video, guys. Please take very good care of yourselves. Peace, shalom. Until next time.